I hope you are doing good. So in this section, we will be discussing about the data, and this section will be in three parts. The first two parts will be um, more about discussing about the variables that are present in the data, and in the third part, we will see the data, how data actually looks like. So without any further wait, let's start with the first part in which I will be discussing about the variables which are there in the modeling data. As you can see, uh, the variables are divided into four categories. So the first is marketing, second is operations, third is external, and fourth is consumer and product. So starting with the marketing variables, to understand this, what this marketing means is that as we have already discussed that companies promote their product by doing advertisement, and they use various channels to advertise their product, right? So within this bucket of marketing, there are all the can say um, feasible channels that a company can use are present here. So which to promote their product, right? So yeah. So first is TV. Like they can let me put this in presentation mode. Yeah. So settings. Yeah. So within marketing, there are various channels that a company can use. So the first one is TV. So as you already know that the company promotes their product on TV by advertising, likewise for radio. And the third one is OOH, which means out of home. So to give you an example to understand how this OOH marketing works, is consider that you are going from city 1 to city 2, and there is a highway in between, and besides that highway, you can see large hoardings are there, right? And on also bus stops also you can see large hoardings are there. On the roads are there, and on the roads also there are large hoardings present. So those are called out of home. And fourth is the print, right? Print means the magazines. When companies try to promote or advertise their product on magazines, newspapers, that falls under the print media. And the second part is the paid search. Paid search includes the advertising spend or the advertising for which the companies pay the, let's say, browsers, let's say Google or Microsoft, to place their product as the top result whenever a person searches for their product. Let's say if I am searching for biscuit on the Google, then the company, like my company, should uh, be on the top as compared to my competitors. So that comes under the paid search. And the third one is display or video, which basically means that the ads that you see on the web pages, right? So whenever you visit any web page, sometimes what happens is any ads pop up, or there are ads which are running below your screen, or on the top right somewhere on the screen. So that's what comes under the display and videos. So this applies for web pages, so for the laptops and mobiles also, because on mobile apps you also see some of the ads running. So that's what comes under the display and video. And the fourth one is paid social. So paid social means that the advertising that runs on the social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook. Whenever you are scrolling the Instagram, you might encounter some of the ads of any your recent searches on any website or e-commerce platforms. So that's what paid social means. And then the fifth one is influencers. Influencers means that um, many companies try to promote their product by in collaboration with many influencers, maybe on Instagram or Facebook, right? You might have seen some influencer who is promoting his or his sharing his content on the uh, let's say fitness, then many companies, let's say my avatar is promoting their protein supplements with them. So those kind of collaborations with the influencers comes under this. And the events and public relations means that company is trying to collaborate, is trying to show their product on the press releases, right? So those kinds of and some events are there, like right, like maybe some cricket is happening and the company is trying to promote their product by showing an advertisement there. So those kind of things comes under events and public relations, right? So, as and apart from these variables, you can also see one arrow behind this, which says that focus variables, and other one is control variables. I'll come to that, but before that, let's jump on to the another factor, which is operation. So, in operations. First comes the price. Price means that companies trying to drive their sales or increase their sales by influencing their prices. Second is the promotions. Promotions means that companies trying to launch various kind of promotions, clearing sales, Black Friday sales, kind of promotions to increase or attract the consumers to buy their product. Third and fourth, inventory and distribution means how company is trying to uh, incorporate the demand by setting up right distribution channels and having a proper stock. Consider that you are going to any e-commerce platform, right? And sometimes it says that the product is out of stock. So in that case, the company is losing their sales or losing their demand just because they don't have the stock, right? So those also comes under this one, right? And let's jump on to the third factor, which is external factor, which is uh, the factors which are not under the control of the company or the promoter, you can say the company who is trying to promote their product. So COVID impacts, right? So we all know that COVID happened and the consumer behavior changed because of that. Take an example. When COVID happened, the consumers were less willing to buy the products, regardless of what the product is, apart from the medicines. The consumers were less willing to buy the products. So that automatically decreased the sales. This was not under the control of the company, right? They were doing best of their jobs, they were producing best of their products, but still the sales fell just because of something happened. The virus spread in the country, and because of which is not under the control of the company, their sales fell, right? So those kind of external factors we are discussing here. So the first one is COVID, and the second one is industry trends. So uh, take an example for this as well. Let's say We all know that in the automobile industry, we are seeing the launch of the electric vehicles. So people are more inclined to go towards the electric vehicles and not buying or purchasing the diesel or petrol cars. So this is what the industry trends, how the industry is moving, and because of that, the people their sales are getting affected, right? Yeah, so that is also not under the control of the company, right? Because the new technology is coming, and because of that, some shift is happening in the trends, and because of which their sales are getting impacted. So in the third point, that is competition. Yeah, so competition is also not under the control of the desired of the concerned company, because uh, the competitors are taking decisions regarding their price, regarding their product, how their product looks like, how their marketing is doing, and several other things, their inventory, their promotions, their price, many other things, right? So how those factors or the decisions of the competitor is affecting the product of the concerned company, let's say my company. So those are the factors also, right? And then fourth point is seasonality and holidays. Holidays, we all know that on holidays, like in India, we have Diwali. People buy more goods, more items on Diwali. Just and because of that, the sales are getting high, right? Because of getting like people are buying more goods, and because of that, the sales of the company is rising, just because that's a holiday season, nothing else, right? And likewise in the US, on the Christmas festival, 2 3 weeks prior to that, people are on holiday mode, and they are buying, they are on shopping mode, like it is increasing the sales like, of the company, right? And then comes the fifth point, that is macroeconomic factors. So consider that GDP of a company of the country is slowing down. The economy is not doing well. Just because of that, the consumer preferences are changing, and changing as in because the economy is not doing well. So the consumers' behavior to spend more will is decreasing, right? Not willing to spend more. So that's how, and likewise, the inflation is affecting the sales. People are uh, not feeling good to spend more, because they have to pay more for the product. Likewise, and then comes a sixth point, that is weather. Weather. To give you an example of weather, how weather impacts the sales. Take an example of ice cream. So people will be more willing to buy ice cream s- when the weather is summer, right? As compared to the winter season. If this is a summer season, people will buy more of ice creams, and their sales will shoot up. Please note that the factors that we have discussed in the external part, external factor, are the factors which are not under the control of the company or any company, right? Yeah. And the fourth factor which is there is consumer and product. So in this, the factors which are mentioned here is more about companies, how people perceive the product, right? What's the image of the product in people's mind? Whether they like their product, what's the image of the company in their mind? What's the things that they like about the company, things that they don't like about the company? All those things also affect the sales of a company, right? So all those factors are included in this consumer and product. right? So we have covered all the variables that we include in market mix modeling. And lastly, um, we can see this focus variables and the control variables, which basically means that focus variables are the ones on which we are focusing on in this analysis of market mix modeling, whereas all those variables, all other variables, which also affects the drives, which also affects the sales, but not but we are not concerned about how they impact the sales, right? Just to give you an example, uh, the price and promotions in the operations section, you can see price and promotions directly affect the sales of the company, right? But we are putting them all in control variables because that is not our agenda in this analysis of market mix modeling. We are trying to find out how these marketing channels, how these ones are affecting my sales, and how effective these channels are, and how do we find the effectiveness of these by calculating the ROI. We will look into these factors in the upcoming videos, but for now you can see that I have given the ROI definition here, which means that um, uh, which the overall idea of calculating the ROI to find the effectiveness is, if a particular marketing channel is giving me more ROI, that is, if I'm getting more in revenue as compared to what I have spent on that advertisement, I'll spend more on that channel, right? Because let's say on social media, if I'm spending 100 rupees and in return I'm getting 200 rupees, right? As compared to if I'm spending 100 rupees in paid search, but I'm getting only, let's say, 105, then it's obvious that I'll spend from next time onwards, I'll spend more money on paid social as compared to paid search, right? So that is all for this video. One more thing is left in this slide. We will discuss that in the next video. So stay tuned. Happy learning. Bye.